it occurred to me that it was quite different for me. And I remembered something that happened when Steve, my husband, was ill. Well, he was ill for quite a while, but he was only diagnosed about 3 months before he died. And my brother-in-law and his family, and lots of my friends and other family were amazing. But my brother-in-law basically and his family put their lives on hold to come and help me look after Steve. He'd taken a couple of weeks off work, and he was down here, and we got to the point where he had to go back, and he was sitting down with me. I couldn't by this stage look after Steve on my own because I couldn't lift him, and so we were sitting having a conversation, and he sort of said, look, I've got to go back to my life now, and we need to think about whether you're going to hospice care and how you're going to cope and where you're going to get help from. And I think I said it to him, which is a bit of a shame really, but I said, well, I've got no other life to go back to. This is my life. I haven't got another one. And it dawned on me that quite often when people are bereaved, they do have another life to go back to. If it's a parent that's died, or friends or whatever, there is a life that you can get immersed in and not manage not to process the loss. But I didn't really have that choice. Steve and I were both really working, so we were we were together in the house. We just bought a new house about 6 months before he died. So I had to really process the loss. I had no choice. And what I found as I was going through this was that I realized that if I went with the grief, and I spent quite a lot of time on my own. I mixed it up, sometime on my own, sometime with other people, but I needed the time on my own so that I could grieve, and so I could really cry if I needed to, or let it all out. That I found, and this is, I think, where the 3 principles comes in. I found that when I did that, when I wasn't frightened of my experience of feeling the loss, that it moved through much quicker, and I was able to just sort of carry on. And I also realized that it depended where I was at in my thinking, how it affected me. So if I was having thoughts like, we just moved into this house, Steve had spent a year doing it up, and he shouldn't have gone, he should still be here with me, or he was only 57, it's too young to die. I had all of these things, and all the guilt as well of, could I have spotted it sooner, all of those things. So if I was thinking those, I would go down pretty quickly. Whereas if I was thinking, I had an amazing experience with this man, we lived, I loved him, and we were really great friends, and it was a gift to have had him in my life. Even though we hadn't been married for, we'd only been married about 17, 18 years, but we'd been together since we were both 18. So, not together, we'd known each other since we were 18, we'd been friends since then. And so when I started to look at the gifts of the situation, everything changed. It helped, and it came quite quickly for me, that the gift side of it. And one thing that I realized, I think because there were a lot of people around when he was ill, and there was just such a beautiful feeling amongst us all in the house, because there's no pretense when someone's dying. It's, you're there, you're present, you have to be. It's, there's that. And so I realized quite early on that there was a gift in this situation, and that the gift was Steve had given us a wake-up call. We spend our lives thinking, we're going to be here forever, this is it. And we have that whole, well, I'll do it when, I'll put it off, and then I'll do whatever I'm going to do. And suddenly, this group of people all about the same age were going, oh, this is it. We've got to if we're going to do something, we've got to get on with it. And I think of the phrases my friend who's more like a sister to me, my friend said, if we were talking about what we were going to do, we'd be going, if not now, when? Because it really does sort of focus your mind on the fact that we have, we're here for a short period. And that that wake-up call, I think, was there for quite, a lot of people. It wasn't just me. There were a lot of people who saw that. Well, we had a celebration of life service at the time, and then about 6 months later, we had buried Steve's ashes. And I remember at that, I didn't actually find what I read at the time, but I remember at that saying about the gift that he had given to us.